You've heard it before. The world is an angry place. You look around and it's obvious to see the world is lost and confused. People are easily pushed this way or that way by whatever sensational news story comes across their screen, falling prey to every single trick that's sent their way. But why is this? It's a question that no one seems to be looking into with any real efficiency. Yet, it's so simple. Why is everyone and everything so crazy? Why is it that everywhere you look, there are crazy, angry people? See, one thing I've learned as I've gotten older, I say at the ripe age of 21, is that us and children are the same. We are the same thing. We are just bigger and marginally more complex. There are perfect parallels between us and the smaller us that we just simply don't notice because we've been around long enough to develop some air of arrogance about ourselves. But there are universal phenomena that everyone who's been around children understands. You take a sweet, loving kid and then you add one missed nap and a sugar crash, and all of a sudden that kid is a little demon who hates you and everything else.
Don't try.
Now this of course happens because little kids are not the best at regulating their emotional expressions yet. So when they don't feel good, they don't act good. If they're tired and grumpy, they're probably gonna show it. Everyone knows this, and of course as an adult you also know that anything a kid says in this turbulent state, they don't actually mean. Like little buddy might tell you that you're the worst and he hates you, but he doesn't mean that. He just needs a nap. See, we are able to identify why a little kid might be acting crazy, but then when an adult is acting in a comparable way,
I just want to purchase something.
Somehow it's a big mystery. These college students, they're insane, they're crazy. Yeah, I wonder why that is. Could it be that the average one is probably running off of no more than 4 hours of sleep, 50 grams of sugar, and 100 milligrams of caffeine? These people who are corrupted by vice, they're overweight, they're binge eating garbage food, they're addicted to alcohol or drugs, they spend all day watching junk content on their phones or on the TV, and then we sit here and wonder why these people are so blind to clear deception. They're so blind to the consequences of their own self-destructive lifestyles. They are so blind to the things right in front of their faces. We wonder all this while we ignore the things that are obviously clouding their vision. We get stuck on the wrong level of analysis. It's the crazy liberal school system. It's the fake news media. It's not that simple, my guy. Yes, it's important to point those things out because those are real things, but those things by themselves aren't that effective. They only work when someone is young and impressionable, or when they are stuck in an infantilized, weak mental state. And they are in this weak mental state because they are physically weak. Their bodies are sick and rot with inflammation and disease, which is the adult version of saying they're tired, grumpy, and eating too much candy. We act like it's a cliche at this point that the body and mind are connected, but we don't act like we know it. These crazy people, these people who easily fall victim to each and every trick, is it really a surprise that they look crazy? That they look physically ill? That they look unhealthy? Wow, isn't it so crazy that the crazy people look crazy? See, the world is a very simple, intuitive place, so it only gets confusing when you start throwing numbers and graphs and studies into the equation. But always remember this and truly embody it. Your brain and your body are not separate entities. There is no magical separation between them. They are the same thing. You cannot be mentally healthy without being physically healthy. And I maintain that the mental health crisis that we are seeing in the West begins with a physical health crisis. Americans, by and large, are not taking care of themselves. We are overeating, undersleeping, and undermoving. And the best part with these unhealthy lifestyle habits is they almost invariably come with this insane level of hubris where people actually take pride in their own self-destruction. Have you ever heard somebody brag about how little sleep they get, especially when it's by choice? You'll be in conversation and you'll just say, wow, I'm actually not feeling the best today. I didn't sleep well last night. And then someone will pipe up and say, well, I only slept 3 hours last night. Yeah, because you spent the entire night on your phone, you literal brick. What am I supposed to do? Give you street cred points because you can't get yourself to bed at a reasonable time? I don't know exactly where this mindset came from that not caring about your health is like cool, but the modern person is stuck in this loop of creating a problem via an unhealthy lifestyle habit that's slowly killing them and then self-medicating the immediate symptoms of that lifestyle habit away while usually making the underlying problem a lot worse. You stay up late staring at the blue lights on your screen, wondering why you can't fall asleep because with all the bright lights and screens around you, your pineal gland, the part of your brain responsible for producing melatonin to help you fall asleep when it's nighttime, still thinks the sun is out. So then at say 1, 2, 3 a.m. when you're done binge watching a show that ended a decade ago, you take a fistful of melatonin gummies and sleeping pills so you can finally knock yourself out just to wake up to a blaring alarm clock a couple hours later and chug an energy drink full of caffeine, which doesn't give you energy. What it does is block the adenosine receptors in your brain, the ones that are supposed to tell you when it's time to go blanky mode. It's absolutely ridiculous that this needs to be said, but listen, King, you cannot use the gamer mode to replace the blanky mode. And because your brain is very adaptable, the more adenosine blocking caffeine you consume, the more receptors your brain makes to return balance, which gets you stuck in a negative feedback loop of more tired and more caffeine. This is how so many people treat something so important and fundamental to their health as sleep. Here's something you also might not have known. Everyone metabolizes caffeine differently, but in the average person, it has a half-life of 6 hours, which means it has a quarter life of 12 hours. Meaning that if you drink a cup of coffee at noon, a quarter of that coffee is still running around in your system shutting off sleepy receptors at midnight. No wonder you can't sleep. There is nothing cool about not getting your 8 hours, dog. There is no mental illness that is not correlated with a lack of sleep. It is utterly crucial for more biological processes than I am capable of fully understanding, and the average person doesn't get enough of it, and because of it, they are increasing their risk for a laundry list of mental and physical ailments. No wonder they're so grumpy. That is one pillar of health. Add in poor eating, dehydration, various addictions. No wonder everyone is so confused and angry. The very simple fact of the matter is, if you let enough aspects of your health fall out of line, then you are on the fast track to become a crazy person. You cannot have mental health without physical help. Keep this all in mind, though, when you're dealing with these people, and do so with extreme compassion. And just like the grumpy kid, don't take anything they say personally. You can't have a debate with a kid throwing a temper tantrum. You can't reason with them. And being mean and nasty back is probably not going to get you anywhere. And just know that as the world's sleep patterns and diets and addictions and all of that continues to get worse over time, people will continue to get crazier and crazier. I can guarantee that. Which is why it is so utterly important that we promote physical health, because you cannot wake someone up if they're not getting a proper night's sleep. You cannot awaken someone to the state of the world if they're not physically strong enough to bear that responsibility. And you yourself cannot be effective if you're not giving your massive brain its needed rest and your body its needed exertion. Do you really think that the Chad mammoth hunters didn't get a solid 8 hours after chasing down a meat monster all day? No, you'd be a fool to think so. You would be an absolute stupid dummy brainlet to have that thought. Do you really think you're gonna hit a new deadlift PR on 4 hours of sleep every night? Yeah, fat chance, King. And see, I would love to say that promoting physical health is a political strategy that no one can really take issue with and get mad at, since obviously being healthy is preferable to not being healthy. But somehow, that's not true. You know, maybe the blind would just prefer to stay blind rather than face themselves and the consequences of their self-destructive beliefs. The world is lost and sleepy, and the sun, it seems, to never set. In rooms of bright and buzzing lights, you cannot catch a wink of rest. Being healthy's not so easy when you're self-medicating away the problems you yourself create. It's overcomplicating. Thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Get your 8 hours of sleep every night or more. Maybe you might need more. Some people are different. It's a political strategy. It's going to be an effective one. Like, comment, subscribe. Again, make a second account. Do it. Do it right now. And then follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Appadanlaw. Thank you very much.